1 TM Sopmod disassembly video. If my phone stands up in its current position. As you can see, I've already taken the front section off, and since this is fixing somebody else's a repair, it's missing the blowback system already. So, but I'll just show you the difficult part, which is obviously the stock disassembly, which is the bit most people struggle with. Pin on the bottom there, pull it all the way out, and I mean a long way out, and then it just slides off completely. Oh. This is somebody else's Sopmod, which they've given to me to repair, well, to put right what they've done. As you can see here, actually it's missing a small piece off the stock connector, you know, that makes the connection between the battery. So basically, in essence, there's only actually, well, there's 4 pieces here that actually touch the metal slide. There's one of them missing. See? You can just see it there. It's must have snapped off when he's done his previous going into the gun. We take the rail off, which is 1, 2 screws. Like with any disassembling of any gun, it's not that complicated. It's just a matter of keeping hold of all the bits as and when they come off. Should be a little spring under this. Always keep it tensioned against the stock then for a good connection. Just put that and screw to one side. The wire now comes off. There's a small little wire protection bit which just slots in under here to keep the wires nice and snug against the stock pipe. Just take that off. And then this is where the having the correct tool comes in handy. Garda does a stock pipe tool, or as I've just noticed is in a friend's box, is a GMP one. So either of these stock pipe tools, much easier when you've got them. Especially since through the it just seems to work itself slightly loose, like during over time. So sometimes it's just handy just to have it just to tighten up nice and tight. In this case, it's already been taken off because we're reassembling the gun. In this particular case, he's done everything right putting it in here, but the stock one has a very specific new design on the air nozzle. So unlike other air nozzles which can completely spin, like you can see here, the Sopmod has a small tiny cutout on the bottom of the nozzle, right on the tip. It's to allow it to go just, because in single it doesn't go quite far enough back if it doesn't have that small tiny cut to allow proper feeding. So you'll find if you do put it in upside down, we'll call it, then basically on single you won't get any feeding, but you will get the occasional feed on full auto. So what you need to do is look on the tappet plate. There's a tiny little notch on the other side of the nozzle. There's a corresponding notch. Once it's on there, you should get no twisting of the nozzle. It'll be completely locked in place, and the tiny cutout on the tip will be at the bottom. Now this is the most, I would say it's not necessarily hard, it's just fiddly and awkward, but obviously you have to pull the locking ring, we'll call it, back while the wires are in the tube. But then you have to get it out of the tube, pull a bit of slack on it, so that now you should be able to rotate. See, now the wire's not in the thing, we should be able to twist and rotate the stock pipe without catching the wires. As I say, fiddly. See how now, because the wires are out of the way, it's just fiddly. So we now twist and we can now pull out the stock pipe without mashing up the wiring. And his should be already modded because he's already gone in here, so it should be, in essence, a quick change spring. So that's the complete recoil unit there. So now it's just a matter of pulling these jobbies off. It's a delicate thing. Some people have been cross-threading the stock pipe tube as they put it back on, and obviously, well, like, it's debatable as to whether it is cheap metal or if it isn't cheap metal. But either way, you cross-thread metal, no matter how cheap or expensive it is, it's gonna mash up. So it's just just take care, you know, when you're doing it. Goddamn fiddly. Probably half of this video is probably can't see nothing. Goddamn cameraman. Come on, off you get. You know, I don't know what the time was, but obviously this part was unnecessary if you're just doing a quick change on the spring. But potentially stock off, you know, to the actual stock pipe coming off and being able to that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could do it as fast as 5 minutes really. It's not effortless or anything, you know, it's quite annoying and complicated, but potentially, you know, if you find yourself slightly overpowered on the day or needing to change your spring, you can do a change. Not quite as fast as a PTW, but still, at least you don't have to go inside the actual gearbox because it's still complete. We haven't even taken the motor off. Well, I'll stop it there. That's the most annoying part, if you know what I mean. So now, in order to get in there, you just disassemble like any other box. I might do a separate video showing the points and the highlights of the new version 2 gearbox and all the cool new things they've got inside.